Might have done a little bit more.
Matthew can certainly attest to it, but he and I last week went over to E-Town, and there's a bit of a strange connection on that. I'll follow up with that in a minute. But we've got a long bedded Ford 150 that is pretty much over to the top of the side rails or the side, filled with. I got to say, Matthew, there's not one piece there that's green. Would you suggest that everything there is dry?
Absolutely. And
the gentleman that offered it, we all saw a bit of a chain of in an email maybe a month ago. Was what would you? I mean, I didn't meet him because it was a neighbor of his that helped coordinate it. But my understanding is this is a gentleman either in his late 80s or possibly after that, and he's doing what Ted's doing in downsizing. And when they first sent pictures out, the scale that I was getting was kind of, Tupperware or, Home Depot bucket full of cutoffs. These were cattle troughs, like 6 feet long, 3 feet wide, 2.5, 3 feet tall, filled with a ton of, there's some really cool, I want to say it was ash that had some wormholing in it. I've already done a few things with one small piece that have come out really neat, but a ton of walnut, mahogany, oak. There's been just to think, Matthew, would you say maybe 25 to 35% of it was already rough spindle?
Yeah, yeah, definitely, or definitely ready to be rough spindled.
Yeah,
square stock.
So is this on offer to the club?
Totally, it's here for the club's taking.
How does the club get to it?
Right now, it's living in my barn.
So
where's your barn?
Think about, yeah.
I live down in Conestoga, but the thought was, what do we want to do with this wood? Because they were generous enough to donate it to us or provide it to us.
Yeah, but the bottom line is, it's, if you're looking for some quick pieces of some pretty good stuff. I know you found a couple of pieces, Matthew, that almost looked like it was ebony, but it was.
What do you want the guys to do to come to get together with you for wood?
Well, right now it's all sort of stacked in bread trays, and it's one stack, and nothing's really organized. So I didn't know if we wanted to, at maybe the new Holland meeting place, we could bring it up there and spread it out if there's room for it. Or just some sort of, even the park where we had these summer meetings, the summer picnic. Grab a pavilion and just spread it out a little bit as a sort of central place that people could come look one day.
That's a good idea.
But
we got Dave Belial waving over here. Dave?
Yeah, I just wanted to say something. A neighbor of mine would bring me some pieces of wood, and about a year ago, or even, I guess it was when we're still meeting at Stevens Tech, I would bring some stuff in, I'd put a low price on it, and the money would go to the club. I can't see why, if people are going to come and get this wood, I can't see why they can't throw a few bucks in and donate it to the club. Just my opinion.
One of the thoughts that was thrown across the table, and we did not commit to it necessarily, though we did not disagree with it, was this gentleman is going to be doing some tutoring. He's going to be training some people in his shop. And, there was a suggestion that maybe we might throw a couple of quid his way. So that's a good idea, that if we can collect something in a hat, to help him encourage.
Well, why don't you sell it off as a buck a piece?
That's a great idea. Yeah. Yeah. We could kind of sort it out. Some of the pieces are
I think so.
Quite nice.
So Ben, could that work at your son's shop, or is that too much mess for that place?
No, that'd be perfect. Yeah, no, we'd have plenty of room there.
I mean, even if it's the point, if you have a spot out in your parking lot with a light above and it's not an evil night, Matthew kind of people picking over your truck if it's okay with you.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
You know.
Mike, I'm not clear on what you're talking about. What kind of wood, or what do you have?
Well, they're cutoffs. They're probably Matthew. Stop me if I'm wrong, but I want to say maybe 20% would be considered maybe an inch and a half thick, 6, sometimes 8-inch wide. But you're talking about pieces that would be probably 15 to 18 inches long.
Yeah.
And then a fair amount are probably 4-inch square, 15 to 8-inch long, and then even wider in diameter. Primarily spindle turning, I would suggest, though there are some that you can make some smaller platters out of.
And there are definitely some round blanks already cut. But
Yes,
that's
yes.
smaller
Yeah, there are a number of bowl blanks, or platter or bowl blank sizes as well.
What couldn't we have a schedule a Saturday morning when they'll be all over at Ben's son's shop, and anybody who wants can come and make a deal?
Tell you what, why don't you make it so that when you take the stuff over, the rest of the stuff over, the equipment over to Ben's shop, we can do the same, have the wood there, so anybody that helps with the wood can help with the, getting the shop stuff over, can also come and look at wood.
That would work. I can have the truck loaded up Saturday morning and be ready to go.
Piece you took, the one?
It looks like you got a deal for Saturday morning at Ben's son's shop. Ben's that going to work?
See what you got.
Yeah, it'll work fine.
Anybody see any issues with that?
What time do you think you'll be up there?
Nice to meet you,
Nice to
John.
meet you.
When did you say that the guild opens, Barry?
10.
10? We wouldn't be out to Ben's shop before 11 anyway.
I'm a lot closer to you.
Really?
Yeah,
I live in Blossom Hill.
Okay, I'm on Bloomingdale.
Yeah, I know where you.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, nice to see you.
Yeah. Nice to
Nice
meet
little-
you finally,
nice
other than
little-
on the TV screen.
Nice little.
Platters.
Doug,
Yeah.
he got those from me, yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that where they're from? So he was
I
able
still have
to
some
get
if somebody needs any.
2 30-inch platters. There's a commission for the gentleman up in Lidditz, the shop that he sells in.
Yeah.
And he was showing me, he turned the headstock around on his Powermatic. And he was showing me, first of all, I'm interested in the grind, this bowl grind, because it's different. It's actually an offset grind. And then he squares off, literally squares off, the ears. Oh, that's a strange grind. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
But if you looked at the tool, it's actually, this ear is lower than this ear.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's about, I want to say it's maybe a 45-degree grind around. And then, and if that's the ear, instead of being around, it's just squared off.
Yeah.
I said, well, what's the purpose? He says, oh, no, watch. Then he showed me. He's got these slabs. On the edge, they're almost 1/8 inch thick.
Yeah.
And he's making platters.
30-inch, yeah.
30-inch platters,
Yeah.
I think 30 and 28.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of them's got some bark on it. It's, it really looks
Yeah.
pretty cool. He said, yeah, I got to keep that about 200, 250.
I think he's turning outboard those too, isn't he?
Yes, yep.
Yeah.
And we were doing the math on that, saying, when you got a 30-inch diameter and you're spinning that at 300, when you really think about it, that you do the circumference of that. Let's see, it's 30 inches, then pi.
70 miles an hour.
It starts moving.
Well, not only that, it's a lot of wood to remove.
Yeah.
I've turned big discs too.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. You think you're going to just zip through it. It's a lathe. It's fast, like all turning.
Yeah.
But in fact, there's a lot of wood to remove, and you're going to hack away for a while.
And that's what he said. He says you just got to take your time with this
Just a
thing.
little,
just
yeah.
a little
Plus
bit
it
of time.
bounces. Anything that
Yeah.
big,
Yep.
it
Yeah.
bounces
Exactly
against
right.
your tool. Did you see that lampshade I made
No.
a couple weeks? Well, I showed it on the
Oh, you showed
Oh
me?
yeah, I remember that.
show
Yeah.
and tell.
On a coffee thing?
That was a 1/8 inch. Yeah.
Really?
Oh, it's about this high. Like that.
What'd you turn it out of? Something like a poplar? something
Norfolk
like-
Island.
Did you really?
Yeah. With the knots in. Looks really cool.
Wow. And that held together at 1/8 inch?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Good for you.
A lot of shavings if it's
Yeah.
an 1/8 inch
And
thing.
I calculated at one time when one of the many kickbacks I've had that struck me in the chest on my table saw, the tip speed on a 10-inch blade at a 3450 RPM table saw is right about 104 miles an hour.
Yeah,
So if
it transfers into.
the teeth ain't going by it and they're just grabbing it and throwing it,
Yeah.
it really hits you in the. I had one time magic markers here, not Sharpies, in my bib apron, and hit the Sharpies, and I just had. My apron, my shirt, my T-shirt, my chest was all red and black marks.
One of the guys I learned from wore an apron that had pockets and he had staves of oak in it. So, he did a lot of shaper work and a lot of table saw work, and you know, he was just afraid of getting skewered by a ripping.
Yeah.
Armor. Yeah, body armor. Jeez. Gentlemen, I gotta go.